Moon Remembers, the third episode of the final season of Star vs. the Force of Evil, is an interesting animal. It's strange. This season so far has been no less episodic than any previous season of this show. Every episode has a clear beginning, middle, and end, and a clear story that it is trying to tell in and of itself, and yet every episode feels interconnected, part of a greater story as well. It's a testament to the good writing in this show. Moon Remembers, though, feels like a bridge. It feels more like something that was necessary to tell than a story that someone wanted to. There was far less humor here, at least far less memorable humor. Like, there's a couple of funny Marco scenes, but they didn't feel organic like in the last couple of episodes. They didn't feel like they fit well into what was going on in the foreground. They were, I guess you would say, distracting, and I mean, they were supposed to, I guess, here. At least one major incident was supposed to be distracting in universe, but I don't know, it didn't flow as organically as the last couple of episodes, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of this episode was to get Moon where she needed to be, at least for now, this season. Because we have her back now, she's home, but we also need her not to be where Star is. The episode opens with the revelation that Moon has recovered most of her memories. Not all of them yet, but most of them. And Star is super excited about this. She has her mom back, but she's still a little worried. She's still a little worried of what her mom will think of her decision to turn the throne over to Eclipsa. She especially worries what her mom will think when she discovers that Eclipsa is devoting so much time and so many resources to freeing Globgor. She wants to wait for just the right time to tell her mom what's been going on, but as soon as they get back to Eclipsa's palace, Eclipsa starts buddying up to Moon. She's so happy to see her because she blamed herself for Moon being gone, as she should have. And the majority of the episode is just the two of them getting along surprisingly well. There's some really great scenes of them palling around or sharing baby stories. And Moon is told about Globgor and even offers a couple of suggestions, as many suggestions as she actually has regarding how they might free him, which basically amounts to they can't. But still, at least she tried to help. And Star could not be happier, because her mom apparently doesn't have a problem with what Star did, and also, Moon is buddying up to this person who Star likes. She's happy that they're getting along. She's just as happy about all of this as she was happy that Moon remembers. But the problem is that Moon remembers. Even if Moon does like Eclipsa, and I think that she does, and even if the episode did claim early on that Moon doesn't remember what it was that Eclipsa did to her, at the end of the day, Moon doesn't and can't bring herself to trust Eclipsa, because Moon remembers. She remembers what the two of them have in common. But she also remembers the kind of person who Eclipsa can be, for good and for bad. She's impulsive, and she's emotional, and she puts herself before her people. She also remembers what the kingdom was striving to be under her before Eclipsa took over. Yes, it's great that monsters are being treated better now, but they were already working towards that happening in a more organic way before everything happened with Meteora. Things were already going to get here. They were just going to get here in a way that was less alienating to everyone else. But more than anything, I think Moon remembers what Eclipsa did. I think by the end of the episode, Moon remembers. Because what else could the title of this episode be talking about? What else could inspire her to so suddenly up and leave to go live in River's gross saliva yurt? I don't know what effect this episode and the events in this episode are going to have on the rest of the season yet, but they're very clearly going to have an impact on the rest of the season. This episode was too conspicuously inserted into this spot in the season for all of this not to be setting something up. We could have had Moon leave in the first couple minutes of another episode to go live in River's gross yurt. We didn't need an entire episode about it unless it means something. Despite the fact that I didn't love this episode, I'm way more intrigued than you would expect to know what that's gonna turn out to be. As per usual though, guys, I'd like to know, what do you think of Moon Remembers? If you have seen it, let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord, link in the description. And if you have enough time, check out my Patreon. I know I haven't updated it yet. I know I keep saying I'm gonna update it, but I haven't yet. I really am, though. Check it out anyway, please. Either way, though, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.